gasoline I smell?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing amazing as always, and it's me, Joe, as always. And today, guys, I want to talk about Scream 6 and why I think that Scream 6 is really good, really great. And what I like about the movie, I want to tell you that. What I don't like about the movie, I also want to tell you that. I want to tell you everything what I think about Scream 6, alright? So let's get right into it, guys. Now, before we get into it, hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot, so thank you so much for doing that. But now let's talk about Scream 6. So Scream 6, I know that some people really hate this movie. They really don't like it because, for example, Sidney Prescott is not in this movie, which is something that a lot of people just straight up don't like, and that's why they even like boycott this movie, and they just don't want to watch this movie because Sidney Prescott is not in the movie. And others really like the movie, and they say that it's a pretty decent Scream movie, that it has some good kills, good atmosphere, and that it's pretty good. Now, I have to say that I really, really do like Scream 6 for like multiple reasons. I'd say how to like describe it is that Scream 6 is what I wanted out of Scream 5. That's, at least, in my words, that's like the easiest way to describe Scream 6 for me. Just because it has everything that I wanted out of Scream 5. I have a lot of issues with Scream 5. There are a lot of things that I straight up don't like about Scream 5. I really don't like how conventional it feels, how essentially how generic it feels in a way, Scream 5 to me feels like an average horror movie, but this is not like an average horror movie because it's Scream, right? So it is like a little above average horror movie for me. Like a really standard slasher. And I was expecting a lot more from the Radio Silence team. But with Scream 6, I got exactly what I wanted. I got a confident, really well made, surprising Scream movie. That's all I wanted from Scream 5. Didn't get it there, but now I got it with Scream 6. And it's pretty awesome, to be honest. Scream 6 is really unconventional in almost everything, in almost like every regard, The movie, first of all, takes place in New York City and not Woodsboro, which I think that's a great choice. And honestly, I've heard some people talking about how New York feels fake in this movie, that it doesn't feel real. But to me, it felt pretty real, I obviously, this is not like some high budget blockbuster movie, right? But for a horror movie, from like for like a horror movie, this felt real. This felt the sets felt good. They felt real, convincing, really good in my opinion overall. So I really enjoyed the setting of New York City. I thought that was a really good move. Another thing that I really hated about Scream 5 was how conventional it was. That it wasn't surprising in the slightest, for me at least. Scream 6 is really surprising, First of all, the opening scene of Scream 6 is just really, really cool. I love that, essentially killers kill killers in the opening scene. It is so creative and it is really cool. It is something that we've never seen before in a Scream movie, and it just works really, really well here. So that was something that was just so cool to watch, and honestly, it was pretty amazing, and I really loved the opening scene. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I think I'll like this movie a lot. And then, then you'll get a lot of character development with the core four, how Chad calls it now. The core four being Mindy, Chad, Tara and Sam. That's the core four. And I really loved all the dialogue. I really loved all the scenes that, it was just them sort of like bonding together, just talking about stuff. That's what we've been missing. In Scream 5, honestly. And here it is, you get a lot of character development, a lot of depth, a lot of growth, a lot of those things, and it just works really well. And I really now love all these characters, the core four: Tara, Sam, Mindy, and Chad. Amazing characters, actually. I really do love all of them, and yeah, they are just really great. Like I really enjoyed them in this movie. And again, that's partially because of how this movie sort of like gives us a lot more character development, a lot of scenes just with those characters talking, and that makes it interesting, and that makes them interesting. So the characters amazing, a lot of nice character development there. Really enjoyed that. Another thing is that the atmosphere of this movie is pretty dark. This is probably the darkest Scream movie ever made, Because all Scream movies honestly feel kind of light in tone. But Scream 6 feels pretty dark, And obviously it's partially because of the setting, because of New York City, and most of the movie takes place at night. But also the movie just overall feels, sort of like gritty and dark, and there's this looming sort of fear and all that. It just feels really good. Like that's a part of this movie, or a thing about this movie that I really enjoyed is just the atmosphere and how dark it is and how gritty it is. That was just so cool, honestly. I really loved that. Another thing that I really enjoyed is how intense this movie is. And now I obviously want to talk about that ladder scene in Scream 6. It's amazing. It's obviously the scene where the core four and the other characters are trying to get from that one apartment to that other apartment, and they are obviously using the ladder to sort of cross. And Ghostface is there, and it's intense. This scene was just so cool and amazing, honestly. I really loved it, and I thought that it was just so good and just so well made and so intense. It was awesome. It was honestly awesome, and I really loved it. So the intensity of this movie is just unbelievably good, and yeah, just so intense, so good, and just so great, honestly. I really loved the ladder scene and just overall how intense this movie was. Another thing that I really liked, again, are the characters, but especially like Mindy and Sam, and obviously Tara and Chad. Like all of them are just so good in this movie. Mindy is obviously like Randy now, especially when she was talking about sequels. That scene about like how she was talking about sequels and how, sequels have always like bigger budgets and the legacy characters are not safe anymore. Everybody can die, even the main characters. She was so cool. Like Mindy in this movie was so cool, and I really loved her character. Also Chad, a nice character development there with Tara. That was awesome. Really enjoyed that. Sam was really good in this one, actually. I really enjoyed Sam. Like, Sam in Scream 5 was kind of mediocre character to me. But in Scream 6, she's really good, So thumbs up for that. I really enjoyed the characters in this one, the depth and and then overall how they were like portrayed and how much screen time they had. It was all great. Now, one thing that I was talking about in my non-spoiler review was how I feel conflicted about the ending of this movie, essentially. And that's obviously the third act in that abandoned movie theater with the killers and the survivors, essentially. So, what do I still feel conflicted? No, I actually quite like the third act of this movie. When I saw it, I was like, this feels like Scooby-Doo. This feels like something out of a Scooby-Doo cartoon. But now I kind of like it. I enjoyed how over the top it was, and that was something that I really liked actually. And I'm surprised, but I really like this third act much more than the third act in Scream 5, because in Scream 5 it kind of felt like they are doing a remake of Scream 1. It was at Stu's house and whatever. But here, this felt original and cool, honestly, and I really loved it. Okay, and obviously the killers, just the fact that it was Detective Bailey, I knew it. I knew it. But like the killers were great in this movie, and I thought that it was like that they were really well done, and especially again in the third act where they talk and they fight with obviously Sam and Tara and Chad and Mindy. That was all very well done, and the moment they killed Chad, I was like, no, please no. Why are you killing Chad? And both of them like stabbing Chad. That was so brutal. And I was like, I don't like it. I really liked Chad, and now he's dead. That's what you're doing right here. But no, Chad actually survived this. And yeah, some people are saying that he shouldn't, that he was stabbed like 20 times, and that's true. Yeah, like I thought that he was dead for sure, but he survived, and that's really good. Like when I saw him, I was like, okay, he survived. That's good. So yeah, guys, the ending was also really good. And yeah, overall, Scream 6, I really love this movie. It's not perfect by any means. It has some stupid moments here and there, but that's with essentially every horror movie, you know? So Scream 6, a really great movie that I really, really do like. And a lot of great moments. I love the core 4. I love them so much. And everything. Yeah, I really like this movie actually. Like it's a great movie. It's a great Scream movie. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care as always, and bye.